Last time we looked at Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for the PlayStation 1, and if you all remember, I didn't enjoy the game that much. It was repetitive, tedious, not unique at all. The graphics didn't look the greatest, the animations were pretty stiff, and the music in it was definitely not my cup of tea. When it comes to sequels, creators need to be careful because if they make something too different, people will get upset. If people make something too similar, people will get upset. They need to find a nice middle ground. Will this sequel fail or succeed? Well, that is what I'm here to tell you. As I said in the previous video, usually I'd start the video by talking about the story, but again, this game has no story. You just pick a mode, character, level, and complete some goals, exactly the same as the previous game. However, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 added in a bunch of new features. First, there are 2 extra modes besides career mode and multiplayer that you can select. One is single session, which is a 2-minute run with no goals except for trying to create a high score. The other is free skate, which is a mode with no time limit at all and allows you to familiarize yourself with the level and chain together combos. Second, you can now create your own skater. The options are kinda limited, but that's okay, it's their first attempt at this. And as you can see, I created the coolest character ever, and named him Radical McCool, so you know, he's definitely cooler than Nitrorad. Third, you can create your own skate park. It is also kinda limited on what you can do, and the controls are kind of odd, but with enough patience, which I do not have, you could probably create something pretty dang awesome. Okay, now when you get into career mode, they also added some things. Let's start with the biggest addition. Instead of it being tapes you collect for completing goals per stage, you actually receive money instead. This money can be used to buy stat upgrades, different moves, and different skateboards. The money is also used to unlock later levels and enter competitions, but those unlock automatically, so no worries about having to go to the store and buying the levels. I love this change because it makes this game feel completely customizable. You get to choose what kind of skater you want, whether it be someone who's well balanced in vert and street, or someone who specializes with grinds and manuals. It's up to you. That is, until you max out the stats and every skater feels the same. Again. Other things they added are that you can now see little bios about each individual skater, which reveals some information about them, like where they come from and what they do to be considered a pro skateboarder. You can now rotate the skater as well and be able to see their skateboard a lot better. I also think it's really cool that no matter what skater you choose, you can buy skateboards from the other boarder's sponsors. After choosing your skater, you can now choose a level. At the beginning, you can only have the choice to go to the hangar, but after completing some objectives and earning money as a reward, you will unlock more levels such as another school level, New York City, and Philadelphia. These levels are much bigger than in the first game, which allows for more combos and more objectives to complete. While Tony Hawk 1 had about 5 objectives to complete per level, this sequel has about 10 per level. Objectives can range from trying to get the highest score possible, to finding the secret tape, to collecting the letters of the word skate, to doing a specific objective like in the school, you need to wall ride on 5 bells. The catch is that you only have 2 minutes to complete any of these goals, but after finishing any of them, it will mark off the goal for you, so no worries on thinking you have to do all of them in one run. To be able to complete these tasks, the best way is to perform tricks as you skateboard through the level. Holding down X will make your skater crouch and gain more speed, while letting go will make your skater hop. While in the air, you can push square or circle with any direction to perform flips and grab tricks. You can grind on any railing, edge, pipe, light fixture, or helicopter blade with triangle and a direction. This game added something though that made it so you can combo moves together. The manual. By hitting up and down or down and up while in the air, your skater will either lean back or lean forward on their skateboard, allowing them to ride around on 2 wheels. Chaining grinds into manuals and then into another grind is a great way to rack up points and build momentum. It truly is a game changer. While grinding or performing a manual, a balance meter will appear. The more you keep your balance, the more points you'll receive. Also, by performing flips or grabs and then continuing to grind, you will increase the multiplier with each added trick. There's also this other thing they added in called switch stance. It's not something I fully understand, but when you hit R1, your skater will rotate 180 degrees and ride on a skateboard with his opposite foot leading. You'll also land in this opposite stance after going off of a half pipe. From what I do understand, it gives your score a different multiplier, increasing it to be times 1.2. Therefore, I think the game wants you to be in switch stance as much as possible. To be honest, I played through this whole game not knowing what it meant or paid much attention to it. Special moves make a return, and being able to perform them is still as cool as ever. It requires 2 directions and a button, and you'll know you perform one because you will hear this sound, and the text in your combo will appear yellow. What's awesome though is that you can buy different special moves in the store and change their button input so it's easier and more comfortable for you to do as a player. Another thing that returns in this sequel are the competitions. Same rules apply as in the first game. You get 3 1-minute runs to try and rack up as many points as you can and avoiding bailing because you will be deducted points. At the end of the 3 rounds, the judges will add up your score. Neversoft added in some extra things to do in the competition as well, such as collecting money and finding secret areas. I kind of wish they would extend the time limit to give you more time to grab all the money for those completionists out there, but it's not a deal breaker by any means. Multiplayer makes a return in this sequel, and it has the exact same multiplayer games as before, such as Trick Attack, where you have to get the highest score in a time limit, Graffiti, where you perform tricks and turn objects you land on into your color, Horse. Player 1 goes first and performs a trick combo, and then player 2 has to try and beat that score. If they fail, they get a letter, and first person to spell out horse loses. There is one new addition to multiplayer, however, and the game is Tag. In Tag, one of the players is it and has to chase down the other player and tag them. You can perform tricks to slow down your opponent, and if your time runs out when you're it, then you lose. Another mode you can do in multiplayer is Free Skate, where you and a buddy can just skate around to your heart's content and not have to worry about any sort of time limit or anything. Free Skate is a great mode to go on if you're a beginner or are relearning how the game works. Okay, this is where I have to be completely honest. If you 100% the career mode with the created skater, which means doing every goal and finding all the money in every level, plus getting gold in every competition, you can unlock Spider-Man. I did this. I'm not going to pass up the opportunity to skateboard around as my favorite superhero. I mean, just listen to this bio.
Given fantastic powers after being bitten by a radioactive spider, Peter Parker skates and fights crime as the Amazing Spider-Man. Spider-Man's super strength, enhanced reflexes, wall crawling, and web slinging make him one of the most spectacular skateboarders around.
This is so freaking ridiculous that it's actually quite amazing. Other secret characters you can unlock are Officer Dick, who makes a return from the previous title, and Private Carrera, who may or may not be inspired by a porn star named Asia Carrera. I cheated to get Carrera because to unlock her you have to find all the gaps in the game with the skater, and that's just way too difficult for me. 100%ing the game with other skaters can unlock certain cheats that you can mess around with, such as slow-mo mode or anti-gravity, or making it so the stage has no textures. It's a grand old time. Looking at this game, I think we can agree that it definitely looks better than its predecessor, but it's still not great looking. The characters definitely have more details and don't look like mannequins anymore. They don't have stupid animations anymore when the run is over. My biggest gripe is definitely the draw distance, but I understand why that's happening. It's because the levels are bigger, which means more things to load in. Music is treated the same way as before, where it's licensed music, which means I cannot play it. I can tell you though that this game's soundtrack definitely went for heavier rock, but to be honest, there were points when I found myself nodding my head along while I was riding around. I say check out the soundtrack. In conclusion, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 did everything I asked for and more. This is how you do a sequel. Take an already great game, add to it, and make necessary changes to make the game more fun and interesting. They added creating a skater, creating a skate park, collecting money to customize your skater more specifically to the way you play. Every character feels unique from each other. You can edit your own moveset, more secret skaters. You can unlock cheats to make the game sillier and more fun. There's just so much. And honestly, if they added in this much into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, then I cannot wait to see what they did with the third installment. I hope you all have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching, and as always, take care.